Welcome back to ICO Review, and today we're going to take a look at Tokeneo. At a glance, it is a cryptocurrency exchange. So in the ICO space, we've had a lot of cryptocurrency exchanges over the last 12 months, and I think that was a trend that was set by the popularity of Binance. Now, it's unfair to say that any ICO is necessarily going to be a Binance 2.0 simply because of completely different market conditions. However, if we had the same market conditions, Tokeneo would have been a very interesting prospect in comparison, and in my opinion, it still is an interesting prospect. They're bringing some pretty cool platform features that I haven't seen executed successfully yet. And I'm a big fan of the 50% profit split with token holders or token stakers, which is accessible daily. But we'll dive into this and we'll break it apart a little bit deeper so you can get a slightly better understanding of what Tokeneo is bringing to the table. And upon first jumping into the site and the white paper, they're pretty communicative with their information. Just on the front page here, they've got a nice breakdown of things if you're somebody that just likes to glance. So 90% of all tokens are controlled by the investors. So that's a nice distribution, in my opinion. We'll look at that a little bit more in depth. They are guaranteeing a 50-50 distribution of income between TEO holders and the exchange. Regular passive income, of course, because it's accessible daily. One of only two that do that, the daily payouts, which is, it's a nice competition. But let's pop over to the white paper for this quite good bit of comparison that Tokeneo have knocked up themselves. You can see here in terms of fee sharing, it's only KuCoin that do fees paid daily, and they match the 50%. In terms of the others, it's all 50% fees paid monthly, COS is weekly, and Bbox, which I've never heard of, is 45% of fees will be paid weekly. You can see not all of the other exchanges actually do fee sharing, but the ones that don't do have some sort of buyback in place. KuCoin has buyback, Binance has buyback, 20% of net profits, etc. So they don't 100% shine, but they are competitive with the rest of the people in the space. So I guess the question then becomes, what's the advantage of participating in an ICO at this stage? Now, normally I would say that something like this is moderate risk. You couldn't guarantee that the project was going to market, but the project's going to market regardless of what happens in the ICO phase. The Tokeneo are guaranteeing that the exchange is a thing that is happening, which in my opinion is fantastic. So when it comes down to whether I'd participate in this ICO, this token sale, I'd be curious to look at the price range of other specific tokens that offer either buyback or fee sharing, for potential residual income. And just to take four, for example, Robinhood, the current token price is about 2 cents. In terms of COS, the current token price is about 7 cents. KuCoin is $1.24, and Binance at the moment is about $10. So, it's a bit of a range here, and it comes down to doing the math for the individual on your returns over time versus the initial payout in the token, and then run the percentage on how much percent the token holder gets and then what your percentage is of the pool of tokens. And that's where the true advantage is of investing in an exchange right now, is trying to capture a good percentage of your token pool straight out the gate. So I'll be honest, to truly take advantage of this isn't really an ICO where I'd drop $250. It's really more of an ICO where I'd want to drop a few thousand to try and get a good chunk of the token pool to try and maximize profits if this thing gets off the ground. But that still makes it a moderate to high risk investment in that case, because there's no guaranteeing that that'll actually happen. So what we should do in that case is maybe have a look at the socials as a bit of an indication. Now, it's something I don't do much these days because bots But but for the sake of conjecture, let's go have a squiz. So whilst Facebook is a low 107, and I'll admit Facebook's a bit of a dead space for ICOs these days, followers on Twitter is 157, again not that impressive, and the Tokeneo Telegram is 1,962, which when I joined in August was only in about 300, so there's definitely growth happening on Telegram. Is it organic? Is it bots? I don't know. I can't really say. I will say, however, that there is a good stream of consistent questioning happening in the Telegram feed. And because I'm recording this while the team is probably in bed in Poland, it probably seems like there's not much team engagement going on. But yeah, there are a lot of questions popping up here in the feed. So the point of that conjecture is to try and assess, try and predict as best as you can, adoption of this platform. Because like I said, if you want to get decent returns on something like this, where you're essentially staking tokens, it is a few $1,000s. So, for those of you that have that few thousand to throw in, then, do your own due diligence, check it all out and make your own decision. But as it stands right now, it's not necessarily one where I would be super keen to just drop $250. If it was last December's market, I for sure would. Given it's September, I'd hold and I'd sell because exchanges popped off. Maybe that'll happen again in a year. So another thing to look at then are unique functionalities or not as common functionalities that Tokeneo is bringing into the space. And the whole reason why that's relevant is because that is another carrot to try and get people into the exchange, therefore driving up token utility. So difference number one is that they are endeavoring to have open fiat pairings, at least one fiat pairing per cryptocurrency at the moment of exchange launch. And that is something that I still don't see on a lot of exchanges, crypto to fiat pairings. So that's fantastic. And I think I remember reading in the white paper as well that there was going to be some form of investing bot, but I'll come back to you on that one a little bit later. Another point that could help drive adoption in ICO phase is multiple methods accepted for payment. So we've got Ethereum, we've got Bitcoin, XLM, Neo Waves, and Lisk. So you've got a couple of options there if you have some bags sitting around. I can't find confirmation of token price in the white paper. However, ICO Bench has it listed as 36 cents, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 0.00012 Ethereum. So essentially 36 cents in the current market. With 9 days and 17 hours until the ICO as of recording, I'd like to see hype, as hypey as things can get in this current market. I'd like to see that Telegram really quite grow. If it hits about the 3,000, 5,000 mark, I think that's a good indication, provided it's organic growth. I need to track down where they're advertising, things like that, to really gauge how organic that growth is. So as the project stands right now, for me, the jury's out. On paper, I like being a first mover in grabbing TEO tokens. I like having an increased chance of having a larger share of the token pool before the adoption of this platform, to see either A, an increasing 50% pool over time, or B, increased token price through the hype around a new exchange. But on the other side of the equation, it's exceedingly hard to gauge hype in this current market. So let me know in the comment section below or in the Crypto Nebula Telegram group if you want me to revisit this one during the ICO. I forgot to mention as well that during the ICO, there is a 25% bonus in the beginning. It's phases. It starts off with a 25% bonus on your purchase during the ICO phase. So, if you're one of these people that has a fair few ETH to burn and you want to take a risk, then that's more incentive to do so. But again, less for those of you that only have 1 or 2 ETH. A little bit of a little is still a little, and a little bit of a lot is still a lot. So other than that, I think that's all I have for you on this one. Go join the Tokeneo Telegram community while we're watching how this one goes over the next 9 days. Subscribe to the channel if you like what we do here. I have been your crypto enthusiast, and I'll see you in the next video.